Hey Spurs fans, welcome back to another update on our San Antonio Spurs. Before we jump into today's breaking news, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And here's something special for you. Everyone who subscribes and leaves a comment with their name and the city they're watching for will automatically be entered into our giveaway to win an official San Antonio Spurs jersey. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and comment your name and city below. Stay tuned, because the next Spurs fan wearing the jersey could be you. Victor Wembanyama just crossed a threshold that changes the conversation. First All-Star start, second selection, third season. That trajectory is not accidental. It is the product of relentless growth, sharper decision-making, and a defensive presence that bends games. For San Antonio, it is validation. For the league, it is a signal. The voting blend, half from fans, 1/4 from players, 1/4 from select media, rewards impact that resonates beyond box scores. Wembanyama's case is built on substance. Career best scoring, double-digit rebounding, sturdy playmaking, and elite rim protection, all on efficient shooting inside and credible accuracy from deep. Even with missed time due to a calf strain and a brief knee scare, his efficiency climbed, not dipped. The starter slate features the expected pillars of the Western and Eastern Conferences, and Wembanyama stands among them without apology. That placement is not ceremonial. It reflects a player who dictates possessions on both ends. He erases drives, Dieter's mid-range comfort, and turns contested shots into transition fuel. On offense, he stretches the floor, punishes switches, and finishes through contact. This season's All-Star format introduces a twist, 3 squads, round-robin action, and a blend of national and international identities. Few players are built for that environment like Wembanyama. His versatility allows him to anchor lineups with shooters, cutters, or downhill guards. He can screen, slip, pop, or seal, and on defense, he covers mistakes with length and timing that compress space. Coaching stakes add intrigue. With contenders jockeying for captaincy roles, lineup construction will matter. A coach who leans into pace and spacing will unlock Wembanyama's two-way value. Rim gravity on offense, deterrence on defense, and the connective tissue that turns good units into dominant ones. The right combinations will amplify his strengths and minimize the noise. San Antonio's rise under Mitch Johnson frames this moment. Sitting near the top of the conference, the Spurs have found identity, discipline, length, and a commitment to defense that travels. Johnson's words cut through the celebration. Potential is not achievement. That edge keeps the group hungry, and it suits Wembanyama's posture perfectly. Teammates see what opponents feel. Stephon Castle's assessment, no one matches Wembanyama's defensive presence, captures the reality. He does not chase highlights. He imposes order. Rotations tighten because he's behind them. Guards press up because he is waiting. Shooters hesitate because the window is smaller than it looks. Last year's All-Star cameo offered a glimpse of his mindset. He treated the exhibition like a proving ground, not a showcase. The viral exchange with Nikola Jokic was not about theatrics. It was about standards. He made it clear he is not there to make friends. He is there to work. That approach travels, and it elevates stakes in a format that often drifts toward entertainment. An MVP chase is not a slogan. It is a checklist. He will need volume without waste, defensive sequences that swing momentum, and a signature stretch where the game tilts because he decided it should. He has the tools, touch, timing, vision, and a competitive engine that does not cool. The stage is set. The margin is execution. The calendar adds weight. All-Star Weekend lands in mid-February at a venue built for spectacle, but the subtext is competitive. Players measure themselves against peers, coaches test combinations, and narratives harden. Wembanyama's first start is a milestone. What he does with it becomes the story. Consider the broader arc. A young star earns a starting nod not by hype, but by impact that survives scrutiny. He anchors a defense, expands an offense, and carries a franchise's expectations without blinking. That is rare. That is why this selection matters. One question to keep front of mind. When the game tightens and possessions matter, who dictates terms? If the answer is Wembanyama on both ends, the MVP conversation is not premature. It is earned. San Antonio will celebrate, then return to work. The Spurs' ambitions stretch beyond mid-season accolades, and Wembanyama's standard demands it. The start is a marker. The mission continues. For now, the headline stands. First All-Star start, second selection, third season. The ascent is real. The ceiling remains undefined. Before we go on, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Your support keeps our Spurs coverage strong and brings you the latest updates straight from San Antonio. And jump into the comments. Tell us what you think about today's news. The whispers began with a single clip, a short video that circulated late at night, showing Devin Vassell walking briskly out of the Spurs practice facility. His expression was unreadable, his silence deafening. Within hours, speculation exploded across social media. Was Vassell leaving San Antonio? And if so, why? The intrigue surrounding his possible departure has now become the most talked-about storyline of the NBA's 2025-26 season. The Spurs, a franchise steeped in tradition and discipline, rarely find themselves at the center of such drama. Yet the sight of one of their rising stars seemingly distancing himself from the team has ignited a frenzy. Fans, analysts, and rival executives are all scrambling to understand what this means for the organization's future. Vassell, known for his smooth shooting stroke and defensive versatility, has been a cornerstone of San Antonio's rebuilding efforts. His growth alongside Victor Wembanyama was seen as a critical piece of the Spurs' long-term plan. The idea of him leaving now feels almost unthinkable, and that shock has only intensified the speculation. Inside sources suggest that contract negotiations may have played a role. Rumors swirl that Vassell was dissatisfied with the terms offered, believing his value to the team exceeded the numbers on the table. If true, this would mark a rare public fracture between the Spurs and one of their young stars. Fans in San Antonio are divided. Some argue that the team must do whatever it takes to keep Vassell, while others believe his departure could open the door to acquiring a more established veteran. The debate has consumed local radio shows and online forums, with emotions running high. National media outlets have seized on the story, framing it as a test of the Spurs' organizational philosophy. For decades, San Antonio has been praised for its ability to retain talent and foster loyalty. The possibility of losing Vassell challenges that narrative, raising questions about whether the franchise can adapt to modern NBA dynamics. The locker room atmosphere has reportedly grown tense. Teammates are said to be supportive of Vassell, but uncertain about what his next move might mean for them. Wembanyama, the team's centerpiece, has remained calm in public, stating only that he trusts the organization to make the right decisions. Economically, the ripple effects are already visible. Ticket sales for upcoming games have spiked, as fans hope to witness what could be Vassell's final appearances in a Spurs uniform. Merchandise sales featuring his name have surged as supporters rush to secure memorabilia before any potential trade or departure. Rival teams are watching closely. Executives across the league understand that acquiring Vassell could dramatically bolster their rosters. Whispers suggest that multiple franchises have already reached out to San Antonio, testing the waters for a possible deal. Internationally, the story has gained traction as well. Vassell's reputation as a rising star has made him a figure of interest beyond American borders, and his potential departure from San Antonio has been covered extensively in European and South American media. The narrative surrounding the Spurs has shifted dramatically. Once seen as a patient rebuilding project, the franchise is now portrayed as being at a crossroads. The decision regarding Vassell could define the team's trajectory for years to come. Cleveland, Atlanta, and Miami have all been mentioned as possible destinations, though nothing has been confirmed. Each scenario carries its own intrigue, with fans imagining how Vassell's skill set might transform those rosters. Within San Antonio, the community is grappling with the emotional weight of the situation. For many, Vassell represents hope, a symbol of the team's future. The thought of losing him feels like a betrayal, and that sentiment has fueled passionate debates across the city. Analysts argue that the Spurs must tread carefully. Trading Vassell could bring immediate assets, but it risks alienating a loyal fan base. Keeping him, however, may require concessions that challenge the team's financial flexibility. The balance is delicate, and the stakes are enormous. The player himself has remained silent, adding to the mystery. His refusal to comment has only heightened curiosity, leaving fans desperate for answers. Every gesture, every appearance, is scrutinized for clues about his intentions. Spurs coaches are reportedly preparing for multiple scenarios. Some practice sessions have experimented with lineups that exclude Vassell, while others have focused on maximizing his role. The uncertainty has created a sense of urgency, as the team braces for whatever comes next. The broader NBA community is captivated. Rival players have admitted privately that they're watching the situation closely, knowing that Vassell's move could alter the balance of power in the league. The suspense has become a storyline in itself, dominating conversations across locker rooms. As the days pass, the anticipation grows. Fans wait anxiously for an official statement. Analysts speculate endlessly, and the basketball world holds its breath. The Spurs, once defined by stability, now find themselves at the center of chaos. Ultimately, the intense buzz surrounding Devin Vassell's possible departure has transformed the Spurs into the most talked-about franchise of the season. Whether he stays or goes, the decision will reverberate across the NBA, shaping narratives, altering strategies, and reminding everyone that in this league, nothing is ever certain. The shockwaves from the news of Devin Vassell's potential departure from the Spurs continue to reverberate across the NBA landscape, and the repercussions are growing more layered with each passing day. What began as a single rumor has now evolved into a full-blown saga, with fans, analysts, and rival teams all weighing in on the implications of losing one of San Antonio's most promising young talents. In San Antonio itself, the emotional impact has been profound. The city, which has long prided itself on loyalty to its players, is struggling to reconcile the idea of Vassell leaving. Local radio shows are flooded with callers expressing both heartbreak and anger, while others cling to optimism that the franchise will find a way to turn this situation into an opportunity. The sense of uncertainty has created a tension that hangs over the community like a cloud. Nationally, the story has dominated sports coverage. Analysts on television debate endlessly about whether the Spurs mishandled negotiations or whether Vassell simply wanted a new challenge. Some argue that the team's front office underestimated his value, while others believe the player himself may have been seeking a bigger market or a different role. The lack of clarity has only fueled the intrigue, making the story one of the most compelling of the season. Within the Spurs organization, the ripple effects are undeniable. Coaches are forced to prepare for multiple scenarios, experimenting with lineups that exclude Vassell while still trying to maintain cohesion. Younger players are suddenly aware that they may be thrust into larger roles, while veterans quietly brace for the possibility of welcoming new teammates if a trade materializes. The atmosphere is one of cautious anticipation. Rival franchises are circling like sharks, sensing an opportunity to acquire a player whose skill set could elevate their rosters. Reports suggest that several teams have already reached out to San Antonio, offering packages of draft picks and players in exchange for Vassell. The idea of him joining a contender has sparked excitement across the league, with fans of other teams imagining how his shooting and defensive versatility could transform their squads. Internationally, the story has gained traction as well. Vassell's reputation as a rising star has made him a figure of interest beyond American borders, and his potential departure from San Antonio has been covered extensively in European and South American media. The global spotlight has amplified the stakes, turning what might have been a local drama into a worldwide headline. Economically, the repercussions are striking. Spurs ticket sales have surged as fans rush to see what could be Vassell's final games in silver and black. Merchandise featuring his name has spiked in demand, with supporters eager to secure memorabilia before any potential move. The Cavaliers, Heat, and Hawks, rumored destinations, have also seen increased interest as fans speculate about the possibility of welcoming him to their cities. The emotional toll on Spurs fans cannot be overstated. For many, Vassell represents hope, a symbol of the team's future alongside Wembanyama. The thought of losing him feels like a betrayal, and that sentiment has fueled passionate debates across San Antonio. Some argue that the team must do whatever it takes to keep him, while others believe his departure could open the door to acquiring a more established veteran. The broader NBA community is captivated by the spectacle. Rival players admit privately that they are watching the situation closely, knowing that Vassell's move could alter the balance of power in the league. The suspense has become a storyline in itself, dominating conversations across locker rooms and media outlets. Ultimately, the repercussion of this news is that it has redefined the narrative of the Spurs season. Once seen as a patient rebuilding project, the franchise is now portrayed as being at a crossroads. The decision regarding Vassell could define the team's trajectory for years to come, and the basketball world waits breathlessly to see whether San Antonio will hold on to its rising star or allow him to embark on a new chapter elsewhere. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of every exclusive San Antonio Spurs news drop, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And don't forget, your opinion matters to Spurs Nation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.